Welcome back to the channel. We're continuing on our trek through the stars, Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 1, Episode 2. I hope we get number 1 back fairly quickly. I like that character. And more Spock and the nurse. I want them together. Once again, do not care if it's not canon. They have great chemistry. I want them together. If you like these videos and like trekking through the stars, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Help this channel grow. Now, let's start the episode. Engage. I know it's the wrong show, but I have my Star Trek watch band on from Next Generation.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
It's going to get infected.
Go to the hospital.
Ew.
I see. If we go to the hospital now, they'll see.
Because they can't go to the hospital because they'll find out she's Illyrian. Which if I said it before, but if I'm not mistaken, Illyrian is a species, right? It's not humans that have been genetically modified until they're called Illyrians, the whole other species.
Plead guilty to knowingly submitting false information to Starfleet by failing to disclose your genetic modification status. No prison time. You'll still be a free Federation
Lawyer
citizen.
lady
Starfleet
is from
willing to
Letterkenny,
seal
right?
records
And I
in
think
every way.
Winona Earp.
Sounds just like a little golf clap.
It's a good deal given the evidence.
She's right. We won't get better. This charge can carry
Isn't
2
he
years
her lawyer?
imprisonment at the minimum.
I mean, still, it does sound like a good deal, except that this is Star Trek and she's one of the stars, so her ass is not going to prison. But if she wasn't a star of a show, then it sounds like a good deal.
How can he counsel me when he works for you?
Are there no independent lawyers? The hell is he?
To find legal help for my first officer. The atmosphere here is not suitable for human life.
Okay.
You got that Bluetooth working?
I can wait.
Oh, he can't wait. He can't wait.
You can.
Try me.
Oh, man. When homie says I'm committed, he means committed.
The air is safe for you now.
Also, they can exist in both the hostile atmosphere and regular human atmosphere.
I knew you were stubborn. I just didn't think you were stupid.
Well, now you know.
Genetically engineered to survive in this charming environment.
I kind of want to be an Illyrian. Can I breathe on the water?
Starfleet will never let an Illyrian serve, not openly. But
Seems a little
that's not
prejudiced.
my problem, Mr.
No, wait. No.
Now,
It seems
I
a lot
really do have a busy
prejudiced.
day.
But she's your friend.
Una Jin Riley is not my friend.
So she
Neither are
and
you.
Una
Please
used to be
You know why you
friends.
feel
She's lucky she isn't getting charged with sedition.
That one is a question for the comments, because that one I'm a little unclear of. Either I don't know what sedition means in this case, or I don't understand why she would be charged with sedition for being Illyrian and having lied on her application.
The proceedings are sealed.
I make it my business to know what happens.
She
behind
knows
closed
guys
doors.
who knows
Many of my
guys.
clients lie.
and it'll bring your other cases more attention. Maybe the attention that they deserve.
Are you attempting to bribe me, Mr. Pike?
He's trying to intrigue you.
And maybe do some good here. Are you?
Oh,
Or are you gonna let whatever
You're a piece of work, Pike.
plus look at his hair. It's magnificent.
still
After 25 years, the first thing you say to me is, I told you so?
25 years. So they were
Thank you.
childhood
Yeah,
friends or teenage
mhm.
friends?
Must be nice. It's just some Illyrians have modifications they can't hide, and some of us refuse to.
Oh, this is full-on race. We're talking about passing and not passing. Are they going to whip out a brown paper bag test too?
I'll tell opposing counsel the deal is rejected.
And who turned you in? Who
Don't.
needs a stabby?
I'm not doing this for you, I'm doing this for me. And for all the Illyrians who can't or just won't pretend to not be who they really are.
Yeah, that's not personal at all.
Maybe you should have thought about that before arresting her.
It's not her fault. I'm assuming she had a superior.
Una broke the law.
And what if the law is wrong?
Yeah,
You'll see I've done everything in my power to help Una.
I can see where she's coming from. She is a lawyer. Literally, her job, her oath is to do this, and she simply tried to get Una the best deal she could because she's a friend or acquaintance or whatever. So I can see where she's coming from. I don't blame her.
See you in court.
Apparently Pike blames her, but I don't blame her.
Vice Admiral Pasak, I didn't know you were joining us today.
Is that her boss?
We would like to petition the court to amend the charges against Lieutenant Commander Chin Riley.
So boss man is making her do all the talkie-talkie?
We're seeking dishonorable dismissal and 20 years in a Federation penal colony.
20 years? Okay, I was a little too shocked there. The Vulcan dude seems a little too pleased. It's not very Vulcan.
Put me on a stand. Let them see that being an Illyrian doesn't change who I am as an officer.
I mean, they would have to establish her being a good officer first, and then put her on the stand to show that I'm still cool.
Do you care about my story?
Care that my client not hand the prosecution the case.
That was not an answer.
Thank you, Lieutenant Union Singh.
Yes.
Is there something else? You think some of the evidence against Una was illegally obtained?
What evidence could be?
If the evidence was rotten.
Well, I guess if the evidence is illegally obtained. But the evidence itself, I mean,
Is there something you know that I should know?
she is Illyrian, and she lied about it. It seems pretty...
Well,
Mm.
you know where I'll be.
It's been a long time since I used to watch Jack.
Fraternizing with the enemy?
Chill, dude. Chill, Pike, chill.
You look awful.
But the hair,
Thanks for that.
still
Does this
magnificent.
have something to do?
I know what you're gonna say. Putting me on the witness stand is a terrible idea.
But he would have to lie about knowing that she was Illyrian because he knew.
And when did you first learn that she was Illyrian, Captain Pike?
Oh, there it is.
You could be charged with conspiracy and your whole crew could be at risk.
And Una would not want that.
You don't see the tension there.
The Vulcans.
What tension?
Who could tell if they're tense?
They're all like
They always look
buddy
tense.
buddy.
Vulcans may not give much, but you can read their body language. And those two hate each other.
They hate each other? Oh yeah. I see it. Oh wait, no. There I did see it. I did see it. That the breath he took, like, Lord help me. Give me patience.
I regret that you had to witness that outburst.
Oh, was that the outburst? The breath of Lord give me patience was the Vulcan equivalent of flipping a table?
Assault truly brings out the worst in me.
Oh yeah. I can tell. I can tell you're fuming.
Including all personal logs, shipwide.
Oh, she done took off the earpiece.
And giving me an illegal order will just get you in trouble if I follow it. I don't think the commander would want that for you.
She would not. And also, don't be getting her in trouble.
Then, respectfully, we're going to have to find out another way.
Myrta.
I'm sorry.
I said no. Couldn't she investigate and get the information she wanted herself instead of dragging her into it? Trying to force her to do something illegal? That's a no-no. Bad. And anyone else in the ship that wants to watch the trial, you do it from somewhere else.
But the outcome of the eugenics wars on Earth speaks for itself. Tens of millions dead.
Tens of millions?
Its limits, genetic engineering is nothing. By interfering with DNA and removing genetic outliers, we endanger the very essence of natural evolution.
But shouldn't people be able to just choose for themselves?
A law does not make something just.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the eugenics wars was horrific.
Pause real quick. I am a fan of Star Trek. I do consider myself a Trekkie. But I am not a hardcore fan. I can't just recite facts. So the eugenics war, I can't remember the details of it. Except that I think it was genetically modified people against regular people, like them trying to take over. Maybe. This show, I'm gonna probably need help in the comments for things that go back in Star Trek history, because there's a lot of history. Actually, I don't think I stated my credentials when it comes to Star Trek, so let me do that now. I have seen parts of the original series, not all of it, all of the original series movies, Next Generation, more than once, the movies, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, did not watch Enterprise. And I think I stayed there. I haven't seen any of the newer shows. I just kind of skipped to this one because it looked really interesting. I looked up what I needed to know because I know it links to Star Trek Discovery, but I haven't seen Discovery yet, though I do plan to. Those are my Star Trek credentials. Now, as I was saying, eugenics war, that's a thing with Khan, right? As in not the episode or movie with Khan, but that's where they come from. It happened before. Whew, that was real convoluted. I'm sure y'all followed it. We'll just get back to the episode.
If a law is not just, then I ask, how are we to trust those who created that law to serve justice?
Ooh, nicely said. Did not know this was going to be a full-out legal episode, but I'm into it.
If you had known she was genetically modified,
What
would
is
you have
her?
sponsored her
What are the
application to
badges?
Starfleet
Is
Academy?
that a star?
Una is an
If you had known Una Chin Riley was genetically modified, would you have sponsored her application to Starfleet Academy?
I mean, the only answer is no, right? Because it would have been illegal for him to sponsor her. And the question seems redundant.
Just for the record, could you tell the court why you would not have sponsored Commander Chin Riley's Starfleet application specifically?
Yeah, there you go.
Regulation 17,
He wouldn't have sponsored her because he literally couldn't.
Admiral April, can you tell me what General Order 1 is?
The Prime Directive.
It would seem that the rules of Starfleet only apply when a captain deems that they do. My client did not ask to be genetically modified. It is an Illyrian cultural practice done to children before they are even born. She has been arrested because of a violation of a law.
But the law that she broke is there to save lives and prevent genocide. So,
how?
If you ask me, counselor,
how?
I would have denied.
So you admit that the reason for your decision is not law, but fear and racial prejudice.
Objection sustained.
So it's just trying to prove in court that the law is prejudice and therefore should be changed. Also, going by what she said, that genetic modification happens to Illyrians when they're children to help them survive. One, that should be an exception to their rule about genetic modification, because that's just a whole species thing. That's not even people on Earth genetically modifying themselves or human colonies genetically modifying themselves. This is like, see, it feels like an entire people that have a way of living culturally, and they're trying to just like suppress it.
I think highly of Una. It's a shame the rest of the court didn't get a chance to hear that today.
That's just insulting to the alcohol.
Do you know how rare it is to get a platform like this?
I mean, sure, but also don't get her condemned for 20 years.
I think we both know you're not the one who gets left behind.
Don't make this personal. Keep her out of prison.
Mira.
It's all in the past.
Is it in the past? It don't seem in the past. It seems in the now.
The Chief Science Officer.
Chief Medical Officer.
Okay, the little badges must be ranks or commendations, because the shape keeps changing on like each officer.
Just that she was discreet and empathetic and handled personal matters.
Trying to remember who knew that she was Illyrian already. Obviously the captain knew, and I want to say the doctor and the nurse knew that she's Illyrian, but I could be mistaken.
The loss of Una would be destructive to Starfleet as an organization.
Yeah, Spock.
She is an extraordinary officer.
Spock was my favorite in the original series. He's kind of my favorite here too.
Fascinating.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Volume 12.9 of the Starfleet
hard copy
Code of Justice.
On paper.
I recorded a personal log.
And you think that somebody got a hold of that personal log, and that's how Una was exposed. Considering your last name, I would think you would understand the nuances of genetic manipulation better than most.
Or might hate it more than most.
That you carry your family's augmentations, you may become dangerous.
Yes, I do.
Did we know she was augmented? Maybe I should have watched season 1 again before starting season 2.
I guarantee you are not the person who leaked Una's true identity to Starfleet.
Ooh, that must be a relief.
Who do you think did it?
Someone who could gain from exposing the truth.
Who could gain from exposing her?
I'd like to call the defendant, Una Chin Riley, to the stand.
I thought she didn't want her on the stand.
So why join Starfleet?
Ad astra per aspera.
Sure.
Could you translate for the court?
And for the reactor?
Was your childhood difficult?
Objection.
I'm gonna assume that in the legal proceedings, since he's not the head prosecutor, is the reason that he doesn't speak. Because otherwise, it's real condescending.
For other families, like mine, it was our tradition. We no longer discussed our customs. We performed our rituals only in secret.
Like a persecuted people.
Ivan and his parents were arrested in their home.
Wonder what happened to the family.
There were stores that wouldn't serve you if they'd heard you'd been modified.
Jesus.
Even the rumors could be dangerous.
Are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Augment Party?
If we hadn't found an Illyrian doctor willing to see me in the middle of the night, I would have died.
Whoa.
Civil unrest became so great, the local government decided to divide us into two cities.
Oh, and now we've hit segregation.
My family, we went to the non-Ilarian city. You see, some of us could pass.
This episode got me kind of feeling like, fuck Starfleet. It'll pass. But, right now.
Who turned you into Starfleet? I remind you.
Was it her?
I
Did she confess?
I turned myself in.
Why would you risk your career?
Tired of hiding?
I wanted my crew to know me for who I really was. I thought maybe if they did, I would finally be safe.
God, this episode got deep as hell. Prosecution, what you got to say? Oh, the Vulcan is speaking.
On what date did Captain Christopher Pike learn the truth about your genetically modified status?
Why is he going after Pike?
I will ask the commander directly.
I understand why Spock doesn't like him.
Pike, 4 months. Well before your arrest.
So he spoke solely for the purpose of dragging Pike under the bus? Do they know each other?
Further, her actions will likely lead to a court-martial of one of Starfleet's most decorated officers. She's clearly toxic.
That's your fault, though. That's not her fault. That's your fault.
Therefore, the only logical response is to find the defendant guilty of all charges.
I don't think that's the only logical response. Spock whooping your ass. That would be a logical response.
In extraordinary and extreme circumstances, if the following conditions are met: 1. Any person fleeing persecution.
We were persecuted.
Or fearing for their life due to political or religious beliefs, cultural engagements.
Can she ask for asylum? As a persecuted people?
Upon revealing themselves to authorities and making request, may be granted asylum.
I turned myself in. I wanted my crew to know me for who I really was.
Status is confirmed by a Starfleet tribunal or designated authority.
So this has become an asylum hearing.
Danger she faced just for being born an Illyrian.
I did say that they sounded like a persecuted people.
By turning herself in, Una fulfilled the third and final requirement for asylum.
She asked for it?
She asked for it. And Captain Pike granted it. Like all good Starfleet captains, including Admiral April on Perican, Narelle.
Oh, she was establishing from the beginning. Damn.
Gave Grant Una Chin Riley the asylum she was so clearly seeking.
Was so good. Even though I made comments about her sounding like persecuted, like the Illyrian sounding like a persecuted people, I didn't continue on with the thought of which means that she can ask for asylum. Excellent play.
We grant the defendant's request for asylum and find Una Chin Riley not guilty of all charges.
I'm sorry we didn't do more for Illyrians. This was a technicality.
It's a start.
Yeah, don't be negative. It's still a victory. Spock, go like this, Spock.
But I am looking at a starship crew that proudly serves under an Illyrian commander. It's a start.
How tall is she? Buddy. The end of episode 2. That was a good episode. I did not expect to be so invested in a law episode. Like if you had told me, oh, episode 2 takes place in the courtroom and it's law. Like, oh, well, can't wait for episode 3 then. But no, totally invested. Love the twist. Slightly ashamed I didn't see it coming. Like I didn't think of all my comments about how this is going, like full racism and passing and not passing and persecution. I didn't think about laws that would protect people suffering that kind of situation. But man, did that work. And I loved it. And that Vulcan head of Jag dude, I get it, Spock. I get it. And now we're going on to episode 3. Hope y'all join me. This show goes back to old school Star Trek. It's episodic, which is part of the reason why I love it. So who knows what the next episode is going to be about. But I will see you all there.